Above all things, I am an Avenger, and this world is under my protection.
Reed, look, it's Thor!
Stay thy hand, villain. I command thee, halt.
Across the rainbow bridge of Asgard, where the booming heavens roar, you'll behold in breathless wonder the god of thunder, mighty Thor!
Greetings, travelers, Wiz Kids, and Wordplayers. It is not Wednesday, it is Thorsday, the holiest of days. I am the priest of thunder, wizard of wordplay, and I am joined, as I am always, by the Gremlin King himself, Samurai Snowman.
The villain of vernacular. if you must.
if you would.
The vigilante probably should be vigilante of vernacular. We'll do that.
Yeah, we'll go that way. We'll workshop it.
We'll get there.
The
What's up, brother?
anti-hero
Glad to be back again.
Anti-hero of antonyms.
Here we go. Here we are, right? That'll be the reboot in 10 years.
No, we are back. We're back after streaming just yesterday. A Tory fan says Viceroy of Verbiage.
Ooh, Viceroy. That's a good one.
I know in my old Twitter bio, when I listed all the accolades I had, I was the Viscount of Virginity.
Damn, Viscount's another good one.
Yeah, Viscount's a good one. That's why I liked it. But hello, Tory fan, and hello, Summer Swan, who's feeling a little sick today.
Aw, Swannery. Hail, chat.
Yeah, I had to post the link in the chat because Twitter DMs, as they are for everyone, just completely broken.
Totally fucked.
So, still, even up until showtime, be like, is it better? And nope, still broken. But
it's crazy how it's affecting everyone at different times.
Yeah. Weird. But no, we're here on our Thorsday show, last Thorsday show for probably a while. With going on hiatus, and then just the fact that we don't really do these often anyway. So Tory fans
come back strong when we do come back.
Yeah. And the Thorsday shows is honestly, I like Thorsdays more than WoW Wednesday just because of just how me Thorsday is.
Yeah, that's your shit.
And being able to just be you can't do it all the time because of just lack of content. If we were going through back from the beginning, every single Thor appearance ever, then we could do it on a weekly basis or a daily basis even. But I just like just every so often, what's new with Thor?
We
right?
can spitball that, figure that out later.
And so, we left off Immortal Thor at issue 22, and it had a pretty fun gimmick. This was, of course, where we left Thor is. Well, it was the issue. I don't know, maybe it wasn't 22. Maybe we started. That's right. It wasn't. I think it was 20. So we left off. Yeah, it was 20 is where we left off. Actually, issue 22 had the fun gimmick, but issue 20 is where we left off. So, because 19 was the one that we went through where.
The one with the wheel. That's the one I have not read yet. So yeah. I'm at 19.
19's the one that like changes the artists every scene because it's the anthology issue or whatever, the Tales of Asgard. Mm-hmm. But this one here is kind of like it's kind of okay. Like it starts with Thor talking to Freya, his mom, his raised mom, not his like biological mom.
Mm-hmm.
But the I can't remember if we went through this or not, but I don't think we did.
Because I recognized this scene. I thought maybe you did.
Well, so I think maybe I went through it on preview because I know what I didn't talk about was because they're basically like Utgard or Tormund, showed up to Asgard. But what was cool is that he's literally crucified to his wheel. That's how he shows up.
Damn, bro. Is that a bad omen for your wheel in real life?
Just like how he and remember we've talked about before that the Immortal Thor is meant to be the New Testament, right? So this is where they bring in the crucifixion. Yeah.
Literally. How many issues left is it?
We're pretty close to the end. I think it ends at 25. Or around those lines. It's pretty like because we'll get to it later. The new news. And so basically then Thor asks Tormund like what's up, and then he's like basically you put the idea of empathy into me, which is what happened in the first story. And so then Utgard Loki saw that as weakness and had me nailed to my own wheel, and it's sent here as a message to being like, don't mess around with the Utgards or whatever. Or that then Thor has to mercy kill this elder of like the universe or whatever. And then he's like, well, I'm going to go travel to Utgard lands.
It's a cool ass shot. We're shooting the laser. Well, I guess I'm going behind. We're shooting the laser beam from his hammer.
Hello, Grumpy.
Ooh, little Thanos action. Hail, Grumpy.
Yeah, so remember, Thanos is like Thor's destined death. Is from what was seen, it was actually earlier in this issue where when he was shown his death by the Black Winter, it was Thanos with an army of Marvel zombies with a weird death gauntlet and an Infinity Mjolnir. So we'll see if
damn. That's cool.
They brought it back, so they're gonna pay that off, it seems. So we'll see how that
with another Marvel Zombies event, perhaps.
I don't know. Like it must be in this issue or it happens later. Like we do know that he is gonna die. Like Thor is gonna die. They've been talking about it.
Have you read this issue?
What this issue? Yeah, this was a while ago when I read this, but like this was older. We still have a couple more to go to. But no, and so then he meets Executioner at the gate, who basically is like, I have to take your place, Thor, because you can't die. Like you're, like you shouldn't have to die. Let me die instead. And Thor's like, no one's gonna die, for my sake anymore. And they basically tell that story of how Scourge had to take over that role, and the prophecy says that it's whoever is wearing Thor's armor or carrying Thor's weapons will die, right? And so that's why he is sent by Odin to come back to life to steal the weapons from Thor and take his death instead. But this is not Thanos, as Thor asks Thanos, and Thanos goes, "Oh no, nothing so small as that." And then he watches Thor and Scourge fight. And so he said that they chose this form because this is the fate he associates with his end. Jim is also here. Hello, Jim.
Hail, Jim. So Immortal Thor, is it like a quote unquote, I guess, maxi series, or does it tie into the main Thor canon right now?
Well, it ties into main Thor canon. Like it is the current canon Thor story, and it will set up the new Thor number 1.
Okay, so it changes status quo, kind of.
Yeah, it's gonna change. It's gonna change the status quo for sure. It's basically it was made to shake up the status quo.
Nice
for Thor. So and also return him to a lot of his original status quo as well. And of course, Scourge can't see the Thanos that Thor keeps talking to. So when Thor is addressing Thanos, Scourge just thinks he's talking to him. And so Thor basically, like the Thanos says, "How could you disagree when it's so self-evident why you must die for them now, Thor? They choose to kill the world. Don't they deserve to face the consequences?" And Thor goes, "And what does a child deserve? What do they deserve who have fought tooth and nail, who fight on still? Am I to surrender before they do? What would that make me? I say thee nay, nothing, believer. I say never. If there are but 1,000 on the earth who embrace the warmth in their souls, who seek kindness, who share justice and love, I will fight for that 1,000. If there are but 100, if there are 10, I will fight. If there's only one soul remaining upon the whole earth who knows love, I will battle to the end for that one, and they for me. To say otherwise is to give up. And I will not give up, Thanos. I cannot give up. We cannot give up." And so then he gives the hammer to Scourge.
So what is Thor's mission throughout this series? What is he after? What's his motivation?
He more is like, I have this death that is gonna happen. I have to do it, but also like this elder storm god showed up. I need to know what that's about. But more or less it's about him coming to terms with like, I'm going to die and I need to
So
find
it's like
out
kind of
what
following the traces of this omen.
Yeah. And he's like, I need to know what this means, what it means, what this Utgard stuff is. And so he gives the hammer to Scourge, but Scourge gives it back.
How do you like
then- so
Thor's
then-
design right here?
I think it's a good design. It's like his classic one.
The belt seems a little off to me.
Well, the belt is meant to, we'll find out he does something different with the belt later, but the belt, remember, is when he stole the power of Zeus, he put it into a belt. So it's like a special relic. Like it's not part of the whole ensemble. It's meant to kind of stand out.
Okay.
So it is just like it can work in some areas, then it doesn't in others.
It'd be like if he had like a giant great sword on his back or something, kind of.
Yeah.
It's just kind of.
Which he's supposed to get a third weapon. He's prophesized to have 3 weapons.
He's not doing fashion souls right now. He's actually equipping the gear that's most effective.
Yeah, he has his axe of wisdom, his belt of strength, and the hammer. So,
A Tory fan says, "Sorry, go ahead."
No, I just like that the comics use the movie version instead of canon characters. I don't know what you mean, a Tory fan. Like,
right? Yeah, elaborate on that.
Yeah, there's not like even Scourge. This is the Executioner Scourge from the original run and everything. Like they changed his characterization since the 60s, but that's gonna happen, especially for a character like Scourge who just was a villain. He dies, he goes to Valhalla, and then he still he has to serve. He still wants to serve Odin and everything. The Executioners for Ragnarok, but he's not though. This is Scourge from the comics. I haven't kept up with Scourge's whole character arc, but he's not an oaf. Scourge in the movies is an oaf, right? And this Scourge is not an oaf. He matches Thor in this combat earlier in this whole fight scene that I speedran through. He matches Thor to an extent, So but yeah, and so then they go into the Utgard thing and they bring this line back of there are forces to which even a god must bow. But then Thor goes, but not yet. And this is actually cool seeing the Thanos in the helmet reflection. This is because this artist has been notoriously terrible. We've talked about it a lot.
This art's been kind of hit or miss from what I'm looking at here. I'm not
but
a huge fan of the style.
Cool.
Yeah, that's a cool shot. And this when he's shooting the laser beam towards the wheel earlier, that was a really cool looking shot.
Yeah, well, we've gone over the artist and how it's
Thanos looks great right there.
Yeah, this is you kind of see the true form that it's this might be Death or this might be Utgard Loki. We don't know. I think we may find out, but I don't remember. and then they travel into the Utgard lands, which slowly become like, this is what we saw of it before we went through the other stories when they went to Utgard. How it's just giant forest and everything, and then like, it's just a trick because of the Utgard story. And then they're like, all right, don't get lost. And then the forest fades in just like a room of smoke. And this is cool. This is a cool, like, the Utgard stuff. What they do with it is pretty interesting. So they're
Is he like a reality bender kinda?
So like, they're like, oh, this is the fog is growing thicker, and like, and what is this barrier surrounding us? This is this wall here. Like, what is this? Oh no, it's even smaller. Like how they use the panels to be like, we're shrinking. They're like they're getting stuck, but it's the panel wall is what Scourge is touching, and and then they're like, we can't escape, and then Utgard Loki holds them in the panel. So
That's cool.
Utgard Loki is like, he is just like a full aura farmer. He's just like,
well, it's kind of, wasn't this hasn't this whole series kind of been playing with like the fourth dimension? I mean, breaking the fourth wall and things like that.
Kind of like with what we've gone through, the idea of story, like story is a magic in and of itself in the Marvel universe, and we see that with Loki.
Really interesting concept.
With like Loki's text boxes, like we went over it on the show before. If I can pull it back up, but it's the one issue where all of the children of Odin are together. Trying to see if I can find it. It wasn't.
It's a cool ass concept though, and yeah, that was a great shot.
See if I can find it, because I know we went over it. It was the story where they go find Tyr, and they basically have here it is. They have Loki, who is the teller of tales in the modern world, and the original teller of tales, Bragi. And so Loki's text boxes are these like old scrolls, like they're like yellow pages. And then Bragi has like purple ones, and because he was the original person to hold like the story magic, right? And so then Loki's trying to tell the story, like, as he is the narrator in these little text boxes, but then Bragi will interrupt him with his own story, and then he'll even, like, when Bragi's narrating the story and Loki reacts to it, he's like, I don't like you, because he can hear the narration. And then there's a point later where they actually use this power between them as like a way, because the group split up. So they use the power between them to like communicate between the two teams by like breaking the fourth wall and using the narration boxes. That's in the
That's
the
a
next
crazy
issue.
concept. This issue looks dope.
And so they
who is the artist there?
This is I don't know if
That
it's
cover
posted
is
on
sick as
here,
fuck too.
but the covers are all great. Those are the Alex Ross covers, but this was before this is the last issue before the artist joined full time. But it's good we show this, because this is Hermod, the god of speed, is given instant death by Tyr's like possessed hand of oblivion or whatever, and he's sent to like just complete like all death or whatever, like no Valhalla, just complete just death,
just non-existence.
Yeah, so here's their when Bragi's talking about like, this is what's happening with Tyr. Loki hears it, and he's like, update from Bragi, this is what's happening, like, because he can see it and read it. It was a pretty cool thing that they did, and Al Ewing had a lot of fun with it. And then of course with Amora having her narration powers, Roxanne bought the rights to Thor's comics, and then she used narration magic to change Thor in the books that affects him in the real world, like by making him dumber. And for a while, he had that like debuff. If he was on Earth,
Yeah,
he would
that's what I was remembering about the fourth
he'd be
wall.
slower.
Started like crazy of like merging of real and fucking.
Yeah. So then we get into the gimmick issue, which this was a pretty fun one. Al Ewing had talked about how they had come up with this idea that they were proud of. That was like this new way of storytelling that you could engage with and have fun with. So they were going to do that. And
Is this
so
the latest
starts,
issue? 22?
No, it's not the latest, but it's close. It starts with Utgard Loki, who has his same kind of story magic scrolls, but this one's like a burning piece of paper. It's Loki's narration, but Utgard Loki is burning it away. So he interrupts it because Loki says when Thor awoke, he was burned. And he goes, "No, I think not. Loki is the skull of all the realms, but there is no realm. This is no realm as realms are counted." And he holds a coin. "I am the Utgard Loki. Here I am the trickster, tamer of monsters and teller of tales. Here I am master magician, and this is a magic trick. How many coins am I holding?" "Wrong. I hold no coins," as he holds 2 coins. A coin is what it does.
There is no spoon.
If it has no value, if it is not part of a greater bargain, it is not truly a coin, only a disc of metal. When a coin becomes a coin, it becomes a symbol for an entire system, a dying planet, for example, or an endless city. The coin is the city, and the city is the coin, and the coin is a trap. Because when a coin is a coin, it is 2 coins, and each side, each face pays you back in its own way. Tails. The serpent encircles you as it eats itself. Circles the world, an enemy prophesies but never defeated. The coin takes you back to what you thought you'd left behind. Heads. Now the coin is with you. It moves you on, pushes you forward, but to what? For what? What waits at the end of the maze? If you're here again, you understand how it works. The coin is the city is the coin. I have no say in what a coin is, of course. I am not the city. I am not the great system that eats and feeds. I am not Nurgle. So you'll have to use your own. You have one. You have one, don't you? There are coins all around you. It's the symbol of the material world for a reason. It's already eaten your world, your life, your imagination. So call it in the air. Let it answer. Is it tails or heads? Are you going backwards or forwards? How many coins are there? Do you know? So then you see here, there's the tails and there's a head. So how this works, hey Cynic, hail Dave. So how this works is at the end of every page, there's a before and after. You're meant to flip a coin. If you have heads, you move forward. If you get tails, you have to reread the page. So that's why, or at least start because if you're reading this physically, you have the 2 pages in front of you. So you're going to go back to probably the beginning of that last page, because that's why Utgard Loki says you're here again. If you're here again, you understand how it works, right? Because you read it and he talks to you as if you're here again. And that happens basically. The whole story is told in this way of this time loop type scenario. It's pretty cool.
It is hard as fuck to write something like that, dude. It has to be hard as shit. So
then Thor wakes up. Thor knew nothing for a long time. There was only darkness, only a strangely familiar pain in his skull. And then he awoke. Who speaks? Where am I? And he holds his head. And then he's in this Uthgard, this endless city, this weird void. It all comes back. I was in the company of Scourge, both of us in the same trap, and then darkness.
It's the back rooms. You know what the back rooms are?
It's literally the back rooms, yeah. As much as this terrain can be known,
dude,
I know it.
A24, they're coming out with the back rooms movie, dude. Sorry to interrupt you, but I'm just fucking amped about that.
Back rooms kind of died when the kids got into it, though.
Oh, I didn't even know about that.
Yeah, it's kind of like SCP. How it's once kids discovered it because it was babby horror, where it wasn't scary.
Oh yeah. No, it's got to be when they're trying to. The best is when they first find it and they're still trying to figure out what the hell it is, and then they send the like investigators in there with the weird suits. Everyone's getting lost and chased down by weird ass monsters.
Yeah, and so then it's, Thor's like, "Oh, what's happening?" And then he meets up with Scourge, and he was like, "I was just looking for you. I was looking for a way out of here, but no such luck. Another dead end. Have I said that already? How long have we been here?" And they get attacked by these like faceless monsters, which you actually saw in the Tales of Asgard thing. We like saw it back then. We didn't know what we were looking at, but now it's like we're here. So then then Thor gets struck on the head by this here enemy. So if you get tails, you flip your coin, right? You get tails. He wakes up.
So is this insinuating that we're in control of Thor's fate right now?
No, it's the city. City is the coin, is what Utgard Loki says. The coin decides the fate. We flip a coin. It's not like it's not a choose your own adventure where it's like, I want to move forward, I want to move back. You literally just flip the coin.
Yeah,
the coin lands on heads, you move forward. Yeah, we flip the coin.
Yeah, so essentially we're still in control of his fate in a way.
No, the coin is in control. We have to flip the coin, but like we don't get to control the coin.
If the coin just stays there, what happens?
But Snowman, you're not getting it. Like Snowman, you're not getting it though. Like once we flip the coin, like it's the coin's decision on what happens.
Correct.
Yeah. So at the end, at the end of this set of pages, he gets hit on the head. If we flip and get tails, we got to go back to the beginning, and then he wakes up, with a headache, and then the time starts over. If you get heads, then it moves forward. And he beats through them, and they fight, and then like, oh, we go backwards, and then we're back at the beginning, and then he's like, despite my belt of endurance, we're still just we have to get through all these people, all these things, and then and so then that continues on for a while, and then they're like, oh, we hear this sound down the way, and like, oh, what is it? And then it's Hermod, and Thor's surprised
seeing the city is designed. It's like an MC Escher painting, essentially.
MC Escher, yeah. So then it's Hermod, and he's like, oh, I thought I lost you. And then Hermod's like, you did? I was gone only a moment, wasn't I? He's like, you told me to run ahead and find an escape. And then they're like, oh, I don't remember that. And then he's like, Hermod, go run ahead and find an escape. So, and then it's like, well, if you go back, then Thor forgets that he just saw Hermod, and then he sees him again, right? And so it's like, it's that kind of gimmick where, we go through these, and then there's just like, didn't this happen? Or,
yep.
I don't remember it. Or they do remember it vaguely, and they're like,
yeah, it's crazy to have a story that's a good story and still add the gimmick into it. That's fucking hard to write, dude. It's clever as shit, creative.
So yeah, and so that's more or less the gimmick of the story, and then we, and then they're like, this is what we do. We just fight all these enemies all the time, and then and then maybe that's just life in the big city. And then Utgard Loki pops it again. That's the question, isn't it? The city, the coin, forces us to repeat actions whose consequences we know from bitter experience. To do the same things over and over, day after day, in pursuit of goals we may never live to see. The frustrations as hero gods themselves are frustrated. Sent back to try again. This is not what story should be, is it? Story should be different. So call it heads or tails, forward or back. Even if the outcome is random, the choice is real, is it not? Or is it not? So it's like you could go back to the beginning if you wanted to. And then once you get through, it's like, we gambled and won. But then at the end of the labyrinth is this thing here. And we didn't know what this was until the recent issue. Then we learned what it is, and it's a doozy.
Oh shit, Minotaur Man. Or what is your guy's name?
It's Monotor.
Yeah, Monotor.
Yeah, because it's the mono. Like
yeah.
Yeah, so this is issue 23. I believe this is the most recent one. And it's like I said, 25, I think is the last one. But yeah,
That
so
cover is so sick, man.
this is the tale begins at the beginning. It began in the primal time when the demiurge gazed upon the darkness of the deep and brought forth the primal
Demiurge.
entities, the elder gods. Not gods as we count gods now, but greater. For each was an aspect of the demiurge given life, a primordial concept given form. One was chaos and dark power. One was the wisdom of a long winter. One was the very joy and horror of life itself. Why would there not be one who was king? Hemer was he called. He was the concept of rule, is what they say here. He was the concept of king. He was the god of king, basically, like being a king is who this guy is.
I was just watching a video about like the philosophy of the demiurge and shit. This is awesome.
Yeah. The great god war that consumed the world. The earliest time made alliances only to break them. Spoke of peace only to spit on it. He was rule for rule's sake, and none could challenge his rule, save for one. And then we see again Atum, son of Gaia, child of the demiurge itself, risen from the soil. So it's like we've talked about Atum before, and how he seems to be being built up as the possible final boss for Thor right now in some way, because Thor fought him once before. They mentioned that he threw the hammer at Atum and it phased through him, and then like Atum like punched him and like knocked him away like with like a single punch. This was way back when, so it's before all of his buffs. So, some call him the first true god, the man of fire, that signaled a new era of marvels. Atum, Democide, Atum, slayer of gods, Atum, breaker of thrones. Hemor faced his first, and time held its breath. Now time held its breath again. So then half brother to the hated Atum, because Thor is the half brother of Atum. The milk blood of Gaia ran in this one's veins, and the ice blood of Tiawas, the wintry mocker. Neither had bowed to him in the time long past. So it's like, because like Thor's the descendant of the people who this guy could beat, so they they basically have the big fight against the big bull. He saves Herman saves Heimdall, who is also supposed to be dead in this area, like dead, but like they basically are alive. So we'll see how that goes. Guppy says, this is not how Marvel would handle that person. That is talking about Prometheus in Valhalla, not feelings. This isn't Valhalla, Grumpy. This is Utgard. This is the Utgard land.
Oh, you're not feeling it though? Shocker.
And like the way
that's a white Heimdall. That's not Idris Elba. So
the way that this works, Grumpy, is that like the idea of the primordial like god war happens in like, this was like old comic lore. The like everyone's great grandparents and great grandparents were all just on the earth at the same time, just fighting. Because like, how do you make all these religions coexist when they all just kind of like all have their own starting point? They just all start at the same time and then just there fighting each other, like
then the best religion wins.
Yeah. So so then he's like, I'm gonna fight him, and the Scourge like, you fool, you can't do that. Like, let me help. And he's like, no, you gotta hold back. An elder god is a living idea. To gaze on him is to know his nature, who he is and what. And can a ruler fight the embodiment of rule? Can a king battle kingship? Thor hesitated only for a moment, but Kymir saw it, and Kymir knew this would not be like before. So then he, fights Thor. He's a giant minotaur man. Oh, look, he hit him he blocked the sword with the hammer, and then he throws the axe, and then they charge in to fight. He stomps him with his foot.
It's fucking huge.
Knocks them all away. Yeah. He pays no heed to my axe buried in his chest that he would to a ring through his, and he gets an idea. And so we see the Scourge's axe that he got from Uller is the blood axe, where it has to get blood when battle happens, even if, like, it takes it from Scourge's own hands.
It's like penance.
Yeah. Then this is what's interesting here. He takes his cloak off, and I wonder if this is going to become the next weapon somehow. He's going to get like some magical cape of some kind, but because he recalls the weapons that he has to use, and he recalls that his belt that he made out of Zeus's lightning. So he takes his belt off, he focuses it, turns it into a golden ring, and he flies up. And if a Skyfather's might and an Allfather's skill can tame an elder god, Thor took to the air swift as his own racing thoughts, and 'twas then Scourge saw the Allfather's intent. Come, great king of Utgard, speak to me as an equal, a fellow monarch. After all, I have come all this way to thy very throne, with a gift of gold in my hand. And he puts the ring through the god of kingship's nose like a bull.
Nice, and that's how the ring got into the Minotaur's nose.
Yeah, and so then you see how he lost the belt too. Like I was saying, like how the belt is a separate thing. But he remembers that sting felt like when Atum had bested him. And when Atum challenged the bull guy, he ran. He ran in fear, because at the end of the day, all kings are cowards. Is what the thing was. He like basically put the idea of cowardice into like all kings, basically. Or to rule is to be a coward, basically. Is what.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this art style. It's like hit or miss for me.
Yeah, with the big monsters and stuff, it can kind of be good, but on the faces is when it's rough.
Mm-hmm. And I don't really like the painting kind of coloring.
Yeah. So then they knock him down, and
there's a bunch of good options right now, Grumpy. But what two Rippaverse books do you have that you're waiting to read because they're trash and you don't want to?
So then in the while this is happening, Loki takes off one of his horns of his helmet, makes like a magical death arrow, and shoots the bull god with it and kills him. But then Loki's not even supposed to be here because Thor had banished him a few issues ago. So then we're gonna find out what that means.
Oh,
so
yeah, those faces are bad.
Yeah, the faces, the artist cannot do faces whatsoever. So yeah, next issue.
That's Rippaverse quality right there.
The omens could no longer be denied. The prophecy could no longer be delayed. The hour had come. Now the Odysseus stood before the gods of Utgard, and all they would break asunder. And he stood alone. This is the story of the Immortal Thor and how he faced his end. But
you know what happens at the end of the New Testament? Your boy comes back, though.
So yeah, Tori Fan says art ain't great. Yeah, the Immortal Thor is like, it's held back by its art in a lot of ways. It's just so sad.
There's a lot of exposition too. It's basically telling you the story the whole time.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I speed run through it as it is.
But it is a cool ass, like, it has a lot of interesting concepts, like the fourth wall breaking and the gimmick with the coin. I mean, it adds to it adds to the kind of ideas that Ewing is trying to play with.
Grumpy says, look at all the lack of detail. That drawing should have been so much better. I can't do it. That artist can and didn't, and that makes me grumpy. No, that's the thing. This artist just isn't that good. Like, it's not like the artist could do it better. It's just like, it's just not good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we went over
the coloring isn't helping it at all either.
We went over like the old issues before, like at the start of this whole series, you know, like even like picking something like issue 4, like what.
They should have just gave the fucking bank to fucking Alex Ross and let him do the interior.
No, see, Alex Ross can be a little rough when it comes to like doing full panels and stuff. Like, he can be good, but you know,
this art looks good. This is the earlier.
This is earlier. I think this is the artist that left to do Wolverine
right there. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like, they took the artist off to do Wolverine.
Have fun
But,
with those ripazines, Grumpy.
But
Shits
like
look
no, the
fucking
original
retarded.
Immortal Thor artist was great. Like he had everything to make stuff
Damn,
look
Storm looks sick
like
too.
look crazy. Like when you saw like Tormund back in the day, he was like intimidating. He was large. He was detailed. You could, you know, you could feel it in the art and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so you know, it fell off. Yeah, like that looks decent, says Grumpy. Yeah, like, and then you go even to like the issue 19, which is the one that like had all these different artists working on it, doing the Tale of Asgard
Oh
story.
yeah, I remember. I think I was on the panel for that one.
Yeah, we went over this about how it's like this artist perfectly fine. Like could have done all of like coloring is a little like Silver Agey, so it's a little like one note colors and stuff, but he's not bad. You know, like this could have been
I like that for sure.
this could have been the full book. You know,
Yep.
this section of Amor right here, this could have been the full like thing. This guy's a little anime, so it's like this, maybe not this guy, but like, you know, this one here is all right. It's like kind of like a less detailed, but very like color heavy
It's cleaner.
guy. Yeah.
It's not as lazy looking as the, the other guy.
This one's like very vibrant, very much like painted kind of. You know, this I think
that
is the
one's
original
sick as
guy.
fuck.
The original guy going back.
That Beta
More
Ray
with
Bill
lines.
the sword getting split in half. That looked good as shit.
Mordecai asks, what run are we going over? We are going over Immortal Thor, as we always do. I always let everyone know what's been going on. So here's what, with the first time we saw this Endless City, the Nurgle Endless City or whatever, and we see Hermod and Heimdall and the original MC Escher stuff. So this was like our hint. It's like, what? These guys are alive? They're supposed to be dead, you know? And but like this artist here for this part is good, you know, like everyone in this book is good.
They're just like, nah.
They're just like, let's just keep using
We'll go with the Brazilian Glasshouse Studio guy.
Well, it's like it's a I believe it's a Mexican like trans woman.
Oh boy. So a Mexican guy.
Yeah, so it's not great, not a great artist. This part I think is the worst part of the book art wise. It's not bad, it just doesn't fit this style of story. Very cartoony. It's
way too cartoony.
Grumpy says Heimdall is not from Africa. Well, good thing in the MC or in the books here he's not. Am I the only one who thinks Gaia was a missed opportunity in the MCU? Yeah, like Thor, you know, I could go on about Thor being mishandled and misrepresented in the MCU, and I think not having his Gaia parentage. Yeah, I mean, you could always have introduced it. That's the thing. Like, you could always be like, yeah, that mom that you're mourned over dying, well, she's not your birth mom. Gaia, the Earth, is your birth mom, right? But that's just.
They could have went super deep with it. It's kind of making me want to watch the first Thor. I did really like Thor 1.
Yeah.
Kind of fell off after that.
Like, even this artist is good. Like, it's a little bit not detailed, but it's not bad, you know, like, because everyone looks good. Like, the faces look good.
All the colors look good too. I don't really like it's like watercolor kind of.
Yeah, and then you just get into here's the very next issue where, you know, that's meant to set it up, and then it's just like these weird ass faces. Like, this was, I remember like sending this into the group chat, this panel right here, because of just how wide his head is for how like
where how tiny his nose and how close his eyes are.
Like, this looks terrible. So
I could do that.
Grumpy says Amora is one of the best, most underrated and underused characters in Marvel. Yeah, she's getting like a little bit of a push with this. We'll see how that carries over. Almost like turning face, like turning to be a good guy. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, Grumpy is saying that whatever. That cartoony style was like Asterisk and Obelix from I never got to play that game though.
Oh. I mean, yeah, so
some of it looks good. Some of the
it's honestly like it's everything but faces. Like, the monsters is passive. Like, this is an okay panel, this monster and the big huge like
I
God
said,
Wars and everything. It's when you get to these like, here's Thor and his face and the side of his head, and you know, like He looks like a caveman.
And
in
the
some
proportions
panels.
on the anatomy sometimes are a little too cartoony and goofy looking.
Yeah, Loki's pretty good, says Mordred. Yeah, Loki's good in this one. We still don't know truly what's going on with Loki and what they're doing. Like he seems to have known that Thor's gonna die, that he was basically like sealed his fate in the very first issue. So we'll see what happens there in the whole death of Thor thing, because we did get the news breaking, as Marvel is to do. They kind of just spoil everything before the issue's out. Not as bad as with Ms. Marvel though. You remember Ms. Marvel was Mordred says we have Magni but no Thrud or Modi. So in the comics, people want Tauren more than Modi or Thrud, because Tauren is like the one. Well, she's the one from the Lionsgate cartoon, but they did a thing with her in a story as well. But like Tauren needs to be brought in. He's a cool character. Tauren, Thor's daughter from the original cartoon, but she'd be cool. She could be. You could bring her in. She could be in like a Young Avengers thing.
Just make her black.
And just make her black. But yeah, we'll see if they. People were surprised they brought Magni back, so they could really do anything. We'll see what Magni even does yet. He's around, but he hasn't. He's off with the bunny guy. We don't know what that's going to lead to, if he's going to get his own book or what. But yeah, so with what I was going to say is that with like Ms. Marvel, how they had announced her death in Amazing Spider-Man, then they announced her rebirth in X-Men, all within like a week of each other. And it was like, well, you can't even mourn that Ms. Marvel's dead because she's gonna be back. And they just basically killed her to resurrect her as a mutant because they wanted MCU synergy / the fact that Ms. Marvel was originally supposed to be a mutant, but they made her an Inhuman because they were trying to push Inhumans. Anyway,
is Al Ewing? Is he gonna still continue Thor after?
Yeah, he's still continuing Thor. So a legend begins anew in Thor number 1. Al Ewing's mythology-bending run of Immortal Thor is brought down to Earth this August in Thor number 1. New heir of the title with artist Pascal Ferry. So it's not the same artist who's doing Immortal Thor currently. It's a new artist.
I'm gonna look it up, see if I can see any of his shit.
I can show something. He did Spider-Boy, Gods, Doctor Strange, Wolverine. He's done, I think, some variant covers and stuff. Nova, some Spider-Man. So he's definitely better than who they got.
Yeah, he's got a kind of a cartoony style too, but definitely better than the other guy.
Yeah. I think he may have I don't know if he was in that anthology book or not.
It might have been the one that looked cartoony.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so when you look up his art, it's all just about Thor number 1. So when you look up for Thor specifically, so he doesn't seem to have done any Thor stuff. So
I'm looking at some shit here. He's got some Thor stuff. It might just be like a cover or
Thor's impending demise in the pages of Al Ewing's Immortal Thor have been teased for months. Now learn about his coming rebirth following Immortal Thor 25 in July. So July will be 25, and then they're going to kill him. Ewing will launch a new run of Thor 2025 alongside artist Pascal Ferry, who makes a thunderous return to character following his acclaimed work during Mark Fraction's Thor run. Okay, so he did Mark Fraction's Thor.
Matt
Fraction. Matt Fraction. So that was 2007.
Really with Fraction either.
That was 2007. So that should be good. That should be a good artist then. Mordred says I would not mind them doing spin-off stories with Vidar or Baldur. Well, Baldur had his own run back in the day. They had a Baldur the Brave story. I don't know where Baldur is these days, though. I don't remember seeing him in Immortal Thor, but he may have been there. The Norse myths tell of gods who walked the earth, doing great deeds for the mortals who believed in them. But Asgard isn't real. It never was. The gods never soared in our skies, never stood with our heroes, never fought for kindness or justice. It was all just a story. Nobody's coming to help us, but somewhere in the city, a man is waking up. A man with a hammer. We see the cover is this man holding this sledgehammer type thing. It says, "A legend walks among us." So it seems to be that not only is Thor going to die, but maybe the other gods as well.
Yes.
And we're kind of getting a return to original Jack Kirby Thor with a Donald Blake type character who will become Thor, right? Like he'll transform into Thor. We'll see what happens with that. We'll follow it along. I'll follow it along. All the
Yeah,
same.
that sounds interesting.
We'll be able to give it because it is a bit of an outdated story, and I like Thor just being Thor.
Yeah,
So
I do too.
See what they're
I
doing.
totally like when the fucking Thor movie came out. I didn't know anything about Thor. The only thing I did know about Thor was the original like canon was that it was some guy who like found the hammer and then became Thor.
Yeah. Since the very first issue of Immortal Thor, Thor's been facing the end of his tale. But that was only the end of Act 1, Ewing explained. As the next chapter begins, Thor must face threats he's never faced from a place he's never been until now. Is he alive? Is he dead? Is he immortal? Or much, much more? You'll have to join us to find out. So we'll see what this is. It might be that maybe he goes into an alternate world where there are no heroes and he has to be the hero to this alternate Earth. I don't know. I don't know what this entails.
Intriguing.
Like it seems because with this line here about how the Norse god Asgard isn't real, never was. The gods never soared in our skies, never stood with our heroes. So it's like all of his past adventures are like erased, I guess, or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's intriguing. So it's
Order
like,
said it sounds like a narrative concept that he is beyond his own story. It could be that they use like because what they set up with Amora, right? That they had this fictional magic and that this narrative magic, and that maybe he is somehow erased from it. Cynic is here.
What up, boys?
What's up, bro?
What's going on, man? What are we doing?
Going over the news of Thor number 1. That after Immortal Thor ends, they're going to relaunch with Thor number 1.
All right. Okay.
So that's why the Thor's days will continue. We'll have stuff to cover.
How many issues is Immortal Thor supposed to be?
25.
25?
Yep.
All right.
Got three
So
more.
we got 2 more.
Yeah.
2 more. I can count.
And that
Lucky.
basically they're gonna
Talk about it.
They're gonna basically do what they did back in the 60s, which is Thor, like a guy becoming Thor, a normal man becoming Thor.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how that goes.
Why is he fat?
He's got like a backpack or
He's
something. He's
carrying
some type
something.
Nah, man. Looks like he's got a belly.
some type of hitchhiker.
So yeah,
It could be-
looks like he's got a belly and then a big old butt.
It sounds a little. He could be kind of doing what Grant Morrison did with Batman. It's a little similar to that. Like he killed him off and then took Batman all the way back to like the beginning of time, and then like reran him through all of the lore. So it could be just rebuilding the mythology from the ground up.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah, I mean we'll see. Like I said, we'll see what happens and how they handle his death and his rebirth, and then also like Ewing says that his death is the end of Act 1, so then this run will be Act 2, right? And so we'll see what that goes after this. Like, I don't expect them. I expect them to basically do what's happening with Incredible Hulk, where it's like kind of a return to form, but we're still pushing what was set up in the Immortal series, and then we'll see what happens. But Al Ewing is still in charge of this, which is big. So he clearly liked Thor enough to keep going and want to be in charge of it himself, compared to Incredible Hulk, where they handed the reins. Mordred asked, what's my favorite Thor run? I have only read the original Jack Kirby stuff, but not all the way through, and Immortal Thor. And I do hold a soft spot for the Jack Kirby stuff, but I can't really make a judgment because I haven't really read much. So.
Wiz is the biggest tourist when it comes to actual.
Biggest tourist. I'm the biggest tourist. The tourist of them all.
I guess so.
Like and subscribe. I'm just glad Jason Aaron isn't on Thor anymore. I hate everything he writes.
I'm not really familiar with any of his stuff either, unless.
And Jason Aaron was the one that did Jane Foster Thor, I think.
Yes, that I do know.
Yeah.
And did he do Agent Venom, or was that someone else? Grumpy, if you know, or anyone in the chat knows.
But Jason Aaron also did God Butcher, I believe, as well. Which God Butcher had potential, it just did the weird time travel stuff, and that kind of lost it.
It almost makes me want. I saw some of Christian Bale's performance as the God Butcher. It almost makes me want to see that movie just for him.
Oh God, he's terrible. Don't watch. Don't.
What,
do
really?
It's awful.
Because he's
the thing with Bale in that movie is that he's tonally like different to the rest of the movie, and not in a cool way. Like, he's disjointed. He's what I can respect of Bale acting as Gore is that he is doing a tribute to Heath Ledger. He is tributing the Joker from The Dark Knight. He's acting as the other side, and that's really cool. But he's in a movie where everyone is wacky wahoo goofball bullcrap, and it's like, okay, like the movie's so terrible. It's just
that's the rest of the movie sounds like shit. Then he's the only
it drags Bale down. That's the thing. Like, Bale's performance is good, the writing is still bad for Gore the God Butcher.
That's why I just want to see his performance as him.
Completely wasted him. He could have been fucking like Captain Britain or Merlin or something. Like completely wasted him. But anyway, yeah, I also read Incredible Hulk 25. I had known about this for a while when it was announced because it was a Hulk versus Thor story. That Thor is weird if you read him in other comics. Mumu Buckaroo, hello. He says, what was your thoughts or feelings when Thor fought Iron Man? Was it better than when he fought Hulk in the movies? I thought the fight was really awesome, as you hardly see Iron Man fight Thor. Yeah, in the Avengers 1, yeah, it was a cool fight. And then Thor supercharging the arc reactor. OG Thor run is the best. Yeah, there's also that point where they get more like myth based towards like the 70s. I have to get into that yet, but that seems pretty cool. Rick Remender wrote Agent Venom. I would utterly love that book if they didn't use Venom as the symbiote. That is not Venom, but I otherwise love the comic. I think Jason Aaron did the recent Venom, like the King in Black, I think.
No, that was Donny Cates.
That was Donny Cates, okay. Jason Aaron did something.
Well, I know he did Null. I know Donny Cates did the Null stuff.
Yeah. Jason Aaron did something with Venom, I'm not sure.
That's what I thought.
But,
or maybe I'm thinking Iron Fist. Did he do something Iron Fist?
I get Donny Cates and Jason Aaron mixed up. But no, so Thor in these crossover comics is weird because he looks like his Immortal Thor version, but he's not Immortal Thor, right? He doesn't have his axe, he's got a gold belt, but he doesn't have the big gold belt, He's just like, this is the version that, yeah, this is the actual cover right here. So like he's
those colors are nasty.
He's different in every issue. Like, there's also a Captain America story that came out recently where it's Spider-Man, Cap, and Thor going to like an ancient Nordic city or something that I heard was pretty cool. So I wanted to catch up on that. But anyway, I won't go through this as crazily. It's just basically the idea in this Hulk story. Hulk is helping this girl who's like basically cursed to be like a skinwalker, and
This art is great.
and Thor recognizes the skinwalker monster from back in the day, and is just like, this is a trap, Hulk. Do not get tricked by it. It is a monster. I will kill it. And Hulk's like, no, she's not a monster. And he's
And
like,
Hulk's face looks so stupid, man.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
Hulk though.
He looks like a cat or something.
But then he's like, don't do it, Thor. And then they fight, and it's a pretty cool. It's a classic Hulk Thor fight. He punches him really far. He slams into a building, and he comes flying back over.
Damn, I might have to check this Hulk run out. This art is fucking nice.
Yeah, I hear good things, but it's what came out after Immortal Hulk ended, I believe.
So it's kind of
not-
a class of like, it's like the merging of like Hulk. He was kind of not grounded, but he's like Earth, but then he's going more cosmic, and then Thor's like more cosmic, and he's going more Earth with Hulk. It's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. So it crashes him into the ocean. And he's like, no, I'm gonna go kill that kid or whatever. And then they see like a flashback of Thor, which just changes the art style up. We see like the skinwalker monster and her turning into it to fly away. He's got the hold on it. We see Thor with the Statue of Liberty again, which is a cool Immortal Thor callback. And so then he turns with the wide eyes as Hulk throws a whole ass rusted sunken ship.
Fuck yeah.
At him. Like, I love, like, it's the best when you do stuff like that. Grumpy asked who the artist is. I'll look it up.
Like some modern comics are they're putting good shit out, but they're still putting out hella terrible shit too. It's like just bang on all cylinders.
Nick Klein is the penciler and the cover artist as well.
I might check this out.
NIC. He does all of the Incredible Hulk stories. He also did looks like he did stuff back in the Donny Cates run of Thor when he was the Herald of Galactus, but it seems to be he does the Incredible Hulk more than anything. The covers on this, the covers for these Incredible Hulks are crazy. Like he's like with Ghost Rider, when like Ghost Rider's like a soldier Ghost Rider.
So this is the run after Immortal Hulk. What? Damn. So how far back does this?
It said the issue's 2023, so I'm pretty sure it's the run after Immortal Hulk. There may have been a few in between ones. Yeah.
Look, he's fighting the Man Thing.
Thor, yeah, the Man Thing one. So then he has the Donny Cates Thor stuff. Yeah. This guy's pretty good, especially for these detailed stuff with the ship with the barnacles and everything. Like that's a pain. That's the pain to draw. Grumpy says that that is badly colored but nicely drawn. Coloring's not.
I like the color.
He's doing all right, says Grumpy.
It's like a modern mix of modern and kind of older school.
Yeah, and so then when Thor drops the hammer, then the Warriors 3 and Sif show up, and then Hulk, like he's like, I'm gonna, like, you can't lift it, Hulk. You know, you're not worthy. And so he calls the hammer back. Hulk grabs it, and he comes flying on the speed of the called back hammer and crashes into all of them, which technically shouldn't happen, but that happens when you get like other writers writing Thor who haven't written Thor before. They kind of just do rule of cool, especially with the worthiness hammer thing. Like, we've gone over how like Moon Knight can technically control the hammer because Uru is Moon Rock or some shit. And it's like, that was stupid. So they basically, he flies up, he's gonna come crashing down, but then Thor's moved out of the way by the Skinwalker girl, and he's like, "Oh, you're not a monster." Then we're gonna go find people, and they leave, and that's really the end of like Thor's part of the story. So
It's probably the Thor from Thor 1, not Immortal Thor. I wonder.
no, I don't think so. They wouldn't do something like that. It's just like every time they do these, Thor is in another book. He's just Thor as the concept from pre-Immortal Thor time. Grumpy, what is the explanation for this nonsense? Hulk can't pick up the hammer. Well, he's not trying to hold it. He's just in the air as it comes towards Thor.
Yeah, it
which
looks like
still,
he's riding it.
He's riding it, which still shouldn't work, but it's been established. Iron Man moved the hammer in the vacuum of space. There's no gravity in space, so the hammer didn't have anywhere to go. Wasn't really holding it. Wasn't really wielding it. He was moving it. But I think it was when it was still like it was in the strap of like on Thor's wrist or whatever. And then Red Hulk, I think, famously also grabbed like the head of the hammer while Thor was holding it, so it was like weightless. I don't know. Like I said, writers do weird shit with the hammer all the time because they don't know what they're
books.
doing. Hello, Ruby. Yeah, Hulk cannot even do that. Iron Man didn't move it. Incorrect writing. Don't let them screw with that. Like I said, it's not as bad as the Moon Knight thing. The Moon Knight moving the hammer. Let me see if I can find that. I think they retconned it later, but it was just like, I'm like, what are we doing? Who thought this was a thing? And you can tell it's just from some random like Moon Knight comic or something, but like Thor throws the hammer at him, he stops it, and he's like, he goes to say about how like, oh, this Uru is actually Uru is actually Moon Rock or whatever, and yeah, it's like, come on.
The art's pretty whack too.
So
yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. That Moon Knight looks retarded.
It
looks like Black Panther with a hood.
And too many fucking of those onks.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on in this story for all that whatchamacallit, the context. I did see going back on my 2099 stuff that I talked about yesterday that Moon Knight 2099 is just like a mummy that Khonshu is like puppeting. Because like no one really will like he has like the last avatar or whatever, the last vessel is just dead and decayed, so he just puppets it like a mummy.
Why even come in here then, Ruby?
I'll have to pass on this one today. Well, you're banned anyway, Ruby, so it doesn't matter. You wouldn't have been able to come on because you're banned. I banned you.
That'll be.
What'd you ban him for?
Banned him because he wouldn't pay me back for creating a character that caused a slur to be said on my stream. So, Wizard can't handle my blackness. Hey, I used to have 2 black guys on Thorsday once. There's a clip up of it. Other black guys got mad at you too.
I'm not black right now.
I'm always black.
I'll be black tomorrow.
Everybody says, I don't like the writer doing stuff just because they think it's cool since it's not allowed. I would be mean editor because they would never let anyone do this stuff. Everyone goes to what if I edit. Yeah, that's the thing is they just like they, especially with Thor stuff, the simple concept of like the hammer cannot be picked up unless you're worthy. Then they go like, well, what if we do this, that, and this other thing? And it's like, okay, Wizard had black friends. I had black friends.
Hey, they're hanging around, just not in the way you're thinking now, though.
But yeah, so Immortal Thor still, still cool. It's coming to an end. We'll see how they stick the landing. And then the Thor number 1. We'll see what happens there.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the end of Immortal Thor. But I mean, God, that whack ass art, man. They've got to fix that.
Well, he's done. He's
It is too late now.
they're done after Immortal Thor. They get the
I'm
new
just
artist
saying
coming
though,
in
like,
for
what if they just they're gonna get a new artist for?
new artist. Yeah, we went over it already on the thing.
Okay.
We went over it
I'm
was
sorry. Like Twitter's DMs, I was down. All right.
yeah. No, I was trying to
Yeah.
remember who we said that it was. We read it and
What, the new Thor artist?
yeah, Pascal Ferry. That's who it is.
Pascal.
That's
Pedro
Ferry.
Pascal. He's everywhere.
Yeah, he's
Just
everywhere.
can't get away from it, man.
Pedro
Every time I hear that name, it just like something in my soul makes me feel bad.
Pedro Pascal could have been a good Balder. I'll say it.
Stop it. Can we just not cast him in anything? Can we just outcast him at this point?
Could have been Hermod. Yeah, so this is the guy. He's got some good got some good art. Here's a Spider-Man and Miles thing he did.
Yeah, that one's good. I like the Thor where he's
Spider-Man and
fighting all
Spider-Man.
There's red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spider-Man,
No.
Spider-Man. Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, if you don't, it's okay. If you want to go hang out with Friday Night Tights, go ahead.
He did a Batman with Batman's all.
You know who else
bloody.
does that argument? There's Snowman.
Eric July.
You're in good company.
Yeah, this.
My thing is, there's just too many variants of all the main
Yeah. That's what
Batmans and Spider-Mans.
I'm just hearing hibbity jibbity, bro.
He seemed to do a lot of Doctor Strange, so that'll help for Thor stuff.
Mhm.
There we go. So that'll be the new artist for Thor.
You don't want to read Ruby's chat about Spider-Man and Miles Morales? You don't want to read that?
Spider-Man and some. Yeah, he's half. He's also Puerto Rican.
Ugh.
Yeah, you Latinos got hella good artists. In fact, on Batter Days, the fucking Jorge Jimenez is gonna be the Batman artist again. I fucking love his Batman shit.
Yeah, for that Batman #1.
Mm-hmm. The design looks fantastic.
Anyway, Sleeping Psychopathy says Wizard! Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point.
Bring it up, Jamie.
Wizard, don't give them ideas. Can't remember what this was about. Oh, Pedro being Balder.
Oh, Pascal. Yeah, get him out of here.
Dang, you won't even approach that. What the Ruby's comment?
Ruby's comment.
Grumpy is right. Make sure you come back on Wednesday for the series finale of Wow Wednesday.
We're being a rebuilding period, if you will. Grumpy.
I will say that I'll announce it here. I'll tentatively plan one more stream after Wednesday because Ultron is added to Marvel Rivals. We gotta do a Marvel Rivals stream, boys. Gotta do it.
You can do that every once in a while too. Just your random Marvel Rivals Friday.
Yeah, like every time something new's
around.
added, we gotta go back through. I gotta show off Ultron.
It was so slow and boring.
But this one, he's like he said season finale, not series finale. But it might be one of those situations where I set you up on a cliffhanger, but we get canceled over the hiatus.
Damn, you got to headcanon it.
Yeah, you guys and then you're gonna be like writing petitions to the network and be like, please put it back on. And then 15 years later, we get a streaming movie and like
but they recast you as a black guy and Snowman as a trans.
Or it's just like half the cast doesn't come. Or like I come back only like a cameo in the finale. And we have like a bunch of like new people that like
it's only me. I come back because I need money for drugs.
Yeah. You're after MASH. You're
Jesse Pinkman.
You get cool new fans and then you quit. Shrug.
What is it with it? Why am I canonically gay now? Like, wait,
Nick would still be gay.
that's stupid fucking Russian.
Yeah, at least you don't got that calling you gay every half second.
Wizard keeps threatening us with series finale. Yeah, I invited Preston to come on, but she did not want to. So, which you know, which is fine. Cannot share in the communion of the most holiest of all deities. It was Dave's fault. Transsexual snowman.
I wouldn't listen to
Where's
Dave.
Ruby? Everyone knows black guys
way
sell
too
drugs.
much.
I don't know what that means.
We
Cynic
thought
is
you
gay. Dave
fucking left,
confirmed
Ruby.
it.
Yeah, I still can't use my DMs.
Yeah,
Still
my
broken.
DMs
It
are
probably
broken,
won't
too.
even be working until middle of the night.
Snowman. I haven't looked up actually what Japanese for Samurai Snowman would be. Fucking Samurai fucking Yuki Daruma.
Okay, random.
So I'm gonna get those characters tatted on me.
I was thinking about when Thor goes through his last trial and we see his last rune, I'm gonna get all 3 of them tattooed on me. That's what I want.
Nice, dude. Fuck yeah.
Because they also spell out Thor.
Oh,
too.
cool.
But they also mean like strength, endurance, and wisdom or whatever. I think that'd be cool. Anyway, Cynic, you did not fully catch up to the present with the Mortal Thor.
No.
And you missed our going through of the one issue that used the coin gimmick.
Oh, what? No, well, I was
Looks like we
watching
can
it. I
flip
was
the
watching it
coin
on my
now
phone.
and take us back.
Yeah, we could. You could flip a coin right now and be like, go back to the beginning of the show.
Yeah, I
Wait,
was
did we do
watching it
this
on my
already?
phone. Ugh.
Yeah, I thought that was a cool gimmick. I thought that was fun.
Yeah.
Utgard Loki's really cool. And apparently, that's the other thing. So, like, we've talked about it on the show before, but Marvel made a weird fourth wall breaky like moment in one of their comics. And it has like basically the editor's notes of what's coming next, but the characters are able to see it as like this is the future. And some of the stuff we saw already happen. We saw like One World Under Doom is on here. There's Rise of the New Champion, stuff like that. But we see Strange of Asgard, that happens. Who is the man with the hammer? So this must be Thor number 1. Who is the man with the hammer? So this is referencing Thor number 1. But then down here we see Utgard rises. So they're like, maybe we'll get like an Utgard event. And Utgard Loki will be like the villain of a thing. Because Utgard Loki is still really cool. Like he's just like a skeleton, a burning skeleton and everything. So
Nerds were a bad idea, Tory fan.
and then it's who would trade away immortality, right? So you can kind of piece together the upcoming stuff. So this must be Act 3 as Utgard rises, and then who would trade away immortality. So maybe Thor isn't immortal anymore. Who knows? Who knows what happens? But we might get something there. So Marvel Comics still kind of, you peek in and look at them every so often. Like, what are they doing over here? The cool stuff. So we're jocks as Grumpy about
So Grumpy confirms I am perfect. Thank you, Grumpy.
Balance of brain and brawn. You just suck for life. That's true. I have no brawn and no brain, which is in its own way a balance. Yeah.
You're the Joker to my Batman.
Exactly at 0. Still balanced. Perfectly balanced, as all things should be. Anyway, I think that's a stream. It's a little short, but I didn't do an Ask Us Anything because we did that last week. Usually when we do these like Thorsdays after doing a Wild Wednesday, it's like, well, really a whole lot to really do. We went through the stories. I didn't want to just read them all to you, right? Like that's, they were good for the beginning Thor, Immortal Thor stories because the art was so great. It was like, wow, it's so cool. But then as it tapered off, like, well, okay. He says Lacey. It's like, well, I don't know. I mean, we can sit here and talk for another like 45 minutes if you want, but like, you know, finale better be big. Well, I mean, we got a lot of stuff already, like talk about. I'm going to go over those Fallout set photos because I've promised it 2 weeks in a row now. You know, we'll be able to talk about Avengers getting delayed. The Elden Ring movie is happening.
Gross.
Yeah.
No, FromSoft, please stop. Please stop it, FromSoft.
This one says 10 more minutes. All right. Short stream Wizards Life Story. I don't know what that means.
About what?
You know what that means.
Like, does it? Like, I don't know. Wow, no, like, you can just throw questions in the chat, I suppose. We could just answer them.
Why is Elon Musk ruining my life right now?
Why did Elon ruin Twitter? Yes or no? I say yes.
I mean, dude, the
DMs aren't fucking working.
Yeah, and everything's scuffed with my DMs right now because I deactivated my Twitter because I've got that job that I'm doing right now, and I could not be distracted. You know what I mean? So I was like, all right, I'm just gonna deactivate Twitter for the day.
Could just uninstall the app.
Well, I did that, and then I reinstalled the app, and I was talking to y'all on my lunch break, and I was like, nope, I'm just gonna deactivate it. That way, I've got like an extra step. And then when I got off work, I went to go reactivate the app, and I went to go reactivate my main account, and then I was getting cussed out in my other Twitter account, and then I couldn't get logged into my main one, and then DMs crash, and I'm like, oh, thanks Elon. Thanks a whole lot. So, way to go, bro. Good job, man.
Grumpy looking at tabletop Star Wars role-playing games earlier.
Yeah, so if we're quitting the Wizard of Wordplay show, what's gonna ever happen with our tabletop RPG?
I said that the streams will still
burn
happen.
the channel. We're burning the channel down, and we're all committing.
Hey, don't think that the thought did not cross my mind.
We're burning the channel down, and we're going in this like Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants Suicide Pact in Minecraft. Then how are we ever going to do the heroes and
the plot of that book?
I don't know. I assume it is.
I don't know.
I mean, you know, at least one of them.
I ever saw a pair of jeans on a cover. That's all I ever know.
You know, at least the fat girl did when she got her turn in the jeans and they didn't fit, and she had to come up with a story like, "Oh yeah, they fit," just like everybody else did.
No, the idea was like we'd still do the Mutants and Mastermind story possibly if there's, you know, we cross over 200 and there's people that want it, you know, like. Mainly it was just like the weekly streams because the Mutants and Masterminds was always gonna be monthly, so it would just been like, hey, just, you know.
All right, so if we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna do
every couple
Thor
weeks,
streams, and then we're gonna do the Marvel Rival streams, we're basically going to be doing a weekly stream, just different content.
Yeah, and like different days. Like it's like Thorsday is only on Thursday. Marvel Rival streams are usually Friday nights. It depends on my days.
Right
off,
on cue. Batter days.
Were you thirsty, Snowman?
Perhaps.
So more Batman content, S1. Or just wants Henry to come back.
Maybe that wasn't.
You're gonna hold hands over the cliff edge. That's like Thelma and Louise, isn't it?
I don't know.
But you don't know Thelma and Louise, but you went with Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants.
Yeah, that's Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, the classic. Thelma and Louise, That's so pedestrian. That's passe.
So what a Tory fan, what me and Snowman want to do for Batter Days was either Absolute Batman if I catch up to it, or that new Batman #1. But
do both.
Do both if we wanted to figure out. Mainly, it's like if I have to think of alliteration of a show first. Otherwise, like, you know, can't do it. There's no good alliteration. You know.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, you could always just wing it. That's what I do.
Either way, we've already talked about the whole hiatus thing to death. We still don't know what's going to happen there, but
I don't know if we talked about it to death.
I
We
mean,
haven't
last week we
decided how
did.
we're going to do ours.
Uh,
'Cause we're doing this
But-
suicide in Minecraft pack. Let's do it,
Um,
baby.
This is why Cynic is canonically gay. He keeps picking like Sisterhood of Traveling Pants.
No, you keep listening to Dave, who drinks way too much. All right, I'm not gonna keep. I'm not
Hey,
gonna
both
put
can
up
be
with all
both
this.
can be true. You know?
I don't think so.
I mean, Thelma and Louise is pretty gay too.
Yeah, I mean, come on now.
I couldn't tell you anything about that movie up until that part where they drive off the cliff. That's it. But that's just me. I'm terrible with movie stuff. Yes. Swan wants Batman stuff because she knows about Batman.
Well, you should get
Yeah, both-
more content
both
from other
can
characters.
be true. So
You should have been.
Dummy and
learning
Lees
about
were not
Thor.
lesbian. I don't think any of us ever said they were grumpy. Or I'm sorry,
Well, I did say they're gay.
lesbians. No, it's just no. We are gay as men for knowing about Sister of the Traveling Pants /
Okay,
Dummy and
yeah.
Lees.
I've never,
that was
I've never watched Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, but it is a funny meme about
watched either of
how the
those.
pants fit all of them. And there's the big Mexican girl or whatever, and I'm like, yeah, right, sure, guys.
Lesbians. That's your Spanish showing through, Grumpy.
What did Dave do? Everything.
What doesn't Dave do? Now he was here earlier. We can't insult Dave.
I'll insult Dave all I want, and I'll dare him to try me.
I
I'll
like
fist fight him at a
lesbians.
truck stop.
Lesbian sounds like it's like a alien race or something from a book. Who's gonna take lesbians first in their
Elsbian-
It's
story?
a book. I thought it was a movie.
It's the Queen from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, like who's gonna take
Queen
lesbian first?
Elsbian.
Queen Lesbian, yeah.
Tori fan
it's
likes
just her
lesbians. I
traveling
mean,
pants.
I like a little bit of a lesbian thing. It doesn't
Yeah, it's a
bother me.
book.
none.
I'm pretty sure they made a movie of Sister of the Traveling Pants. But
I know they made a movie. I remember
Yes.
seeing the people make fun of it.
Yeah, I think
Had
that's
the
who was
Mexican
talking
girl
about, the
from,
Mexican girl. Yeah,
Yeah,
she had like that movie and was in like one other thing and then disappeared from the face of the earth.
the whole series of gay preteen books. It's also a movie. We've established. I remember I think my sister had a copy of the book. I remember seeing it. But
My sister
there's
was
a
a
movie
how
with
did
real
this?
America-
Hold up.
America
We were
for
talking
it.
about having a Sui plot together to end the show finally, permanently, and it turned into me owning gay preteen books.
Why do you own a copy of Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants? Can you?
I don't
can
own
you
a copy of it.
Elaborate on that.
I explained. I remember the meme of like them making fun of the fat Mexican girl, where it was like she got the pants and she like made up a whole story about how they fit her and changed her life too, and
They're
they
horrible.
didn't
They made a movie in America for and Blake Lively.
because you gave too many women in your chat. That's also true. Well, at least the main protagonist isn't here tonight.
Hey,
And
my main protagonist is here tonight, but
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you.
But,
And I hope you push your fucking glasses all the way up in your goddamn skull, you son of
No,
a bitch.
took 'em off. I didn't want to be a himbo today.
Wait,
He's gonna
wearing
be like a-
glasses
Wait.
is
Yeah,
how you
never mind.
combat being a himbo, you retard. That's why I wear
Nah,
glasses
phone.
at night. I can't always be handsome.
he wears sunglasses at night. Anyway,
I'm never gonna beat
I
these
think
himbo
now I
allegations.
think that's a stream. I think.
I
we'll
mean,
call
I've
it now.
I've learned to live with it. You know, it's just what are you gonna do, man? You just all you do is do intelligent things from time to time, and then they look at you like, oh, maybe he's not.
Snake
They'll,
and Wizard
they'll
can we-
expect too much from you at that point.
I think we can wear the same pants waist wise. I think length wise we kind of.
Fuck
think
you,
we-
wizard.
we can wear the same pair of shorts. He can wear them as pants.
You can fit here you go. You can fit two of me in those pants. I'm a little guy. A little manly compared to these gentlemen.
What size like waist pants do you wear?
Oh, you just say Cynic?
Yeah.
Oh, depends on what style of pants I'm wearing. Anywhere from a 29 to a 32.
Okay, so you're a little too skinny for me.
My waist is. The rest of me's bulky. It's
Yeah, well, it's
retarded.
like because I have to kind of like force myself into a 32, and that's
I mean, I got
Both
some
y'all is
34s I
lying.
rock, but I normally try to buy pants that I don't have to wear a belt with. So
yeah. I like to wear the belt. So
I hate wearing a belt.
Yeah.
I'm
Pissed at
fat,
me.
so I need the belt. So
Well, that's what the fat's
anyway,
for.
that sounds
Ruby's so
weird,
fat he pulls his
but
pants up over his belly. You know, you've seen those guys that do that. Oh
Yeah.
God, I gotta get my britches over this so it makes me look thinner.
I have to hide my belly button. You don't
Oh,
understand. I'm self-conscious of my belly button. Cynic is too skinny for me, quote Wizard. No, I said I think that it was just that's too skinny for me. Don't misquote me.
I walk these pants up
Cynic
on
keeps
stage.
an hourglass figure. Only gay on YouTube. Anyway. Jesker's not here. I can't do the send your Jesker Cynic Yowie on Twitter.
I mean, you could still send it. It's whatever.
Yes, please do send your Jesker Cynic Yowie to both of them on Twitter.
Haha,
Yeah,
joke's on
catch
you.
me on
DMs
Roll
are down.
43.
He's too skinny for me. Yeah, it's true. You have to wait. Wait until DMs are up and then flood both of their DMs. Or at them. No, just add them on Twitter publicly. Make sure everyone sees it.
It's so the Twitter DMs being down because like I can get them to work on the browser, but nobody else can get them to work.
I can't get mine to work on a browser at all.
Oh, yeah, I'm not gonna try.
I was able to only see what you guys were saying in the group chat from like my phone notifications, and that was it. Like I couldn't go to it.
Weird.
So thanks, Elon, for meme buying Twitter.
Yeah, dude. I'm so glad that I was in the middle of getting yelled at when this happened.
No, for real now. Anyway, we're gonna, thanks everyone for coming.
Hell, chat, we
Thanks,
love you.
man. Thanks, Cynic. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Always here for a good Thorsday stream. As little or quick as it may be, it's always good.
Well, I mean, we've had internet issues, man. Twitter was down.
Yeah.
A lot of things happen, and sometimes that's just the way she goes, man. It's no big deal. Like I said, things like that happen. It'll be all right. You ain't always got to do a 12-hour Thorsday stream. Plus, like, the other people that would have came on.
I could probably do a 12-hour Thorsday stream. Like,
oh, we do.
better get you a Red Bull.
Let me start with the MCU's depiction of Thor.
Anyway.
And no, I gotta say goodbye to, of course, Grumpy, Sleepers Copy, a Tory fan, Swan.
Ruby was here. Dave was here.
Ruby was here.
Jim was
Dave was
here.
here. Jim was here.
Mordred Kane.
Mordred Kane.
Jamie.
Yeah, there's Mordred. Yeah. So thanks everyone for being here. Wow, Wednesday on Wednesday, and then maybe a gaming stream that weekend, but I'm not sure yet. So thanks everyone for coming, and now I'm going to play the outro.